Oh. So good. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another edition of my mac and cheese hack, born on TikTok. And I am just gonna keep this going as long as possible because I'm always looking for shortcuts. And I know people think I might be a little crazy for adding so much liquid. Even this time, the noodle that I used was really not the best for this application, so I wouldn't recommend you use a large noodle like this. Small noodles, 6 cups of liquid works perfect. I had to add more liquid to make sure it covered the noodles entirely, and then I ended up taking a cup of liquid out with one of those turkey baster things before I mixed everything up. And it ended up working out fabulously. This is also a recreation of a video that I did in December of my Sriracha chicken mac and cheese. Same noodle, that's why I used this noodle this time. But it is a dish from a restaurant in Jupiter, Florida, where I grew up, called Food Shack. They also have another restaurant called Leftovers, and their grown-up mac and cheese is called Indironi, which is basically Sriracha chicken, Velveeta, and a load of garlic. That being said, let's go ahead and get started because this looks absolutely ridiculous and it is so saucy. If you guys ever wanted a saucy mukbang, this is it. It's gonna be dripping. Oh. All right, guys, first bite, cheers. Wow. So good. And this is a really fun way to jazz up Velveeta, right? Make it a little bit spicy, add some protein in there. You can probably make it more spicy the next time. I want to say they use a 1/4 cup of Sriracha, so it's quite a bit. You can just add however much you like. Same with the garlic, but I will say it is really good with a buttload of garlic. And I used a dozen cloves. Another really great hack about this is I didn't even have to cook the chicken. I just bought a rotisserie chicken from Costco. And at Costco, they're $5. Can't beat that. I'm obsessed with New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs, by the way. They're just so refreshing and crisp. Oh, I love how citrusy they are. These noodles are so much fun. I love them. Like little butterflies. I know farfalle literally means butterflies, so it would make sense. These are farfalloni, I want to say. That pie was really hot. Oh my gosh. There's something about Velveeta. I know. It's terrible. It's really, really processed. Whatever. It's super nostalgic for me. Not only because I always loved Velveeta shells and cheese growing up, but because of the restaurant. That was like one of my favorite dishes in all of Jupiter, really. And theirs is also like really, really saucy. So this really worked out. The cheese is like, it keeps forming. Like a film on my lips because it's so rich. So I'm excited to tell you guys that I am starting my journey with bread making. I'm really excited about it. I don't want to continue to cook things that I know how to cook because then where am I actually getting? You know, I like to be constantly learning new things, especially in the realm of like my job, if you want to consider it like continuing education. Anyways, so I made a feta dip on my TikTok the other day. And I was like, you know what would be really good with this? Some pita from Saba in New Orleans. But you know, I don't live in New Orleans. So I'm like, I would love to just try making my own pita bread. So yesterday, I had my first attempt. There were a few things that just didn't go right. First, it's not like super warm here yet, and yesterday was definitely not a warmer day either. So I wanted to proof my yeast and couldn't figure out where in the house to do it. It says in a warm but not hot place. So I ended up heating the oven to its lowest setting and then turning it off and sticking the bowl in there so that the yeast could proof and like get all like bubbly and foamy and everything, which is apparently the first step if you're using active dry yeast. So I'm not sure if that went the way it was supposed to. Then you're meant to like add the rest of the flour, knead it, rest it, knead it again. And during that stage, I think I added too much flour. Like it's meant to be a really sticky dough. And I was like, oh man, this is like really sticky. Just like keep adding flour, keep adding flour. And that was totally like not the right thing to do. It's like meant to be a really wet dough. Really soft, by the way, like really fun to work with. So I think I added too much flour. Once I had like kneaded it, I don't think I kneaded it long enough, first of all. But when I went to rest it, I oiled my bowl, but I didn't cover the dough in oil. And it ended up getting this film all over the top of it, which was like, no bueno. I had to proof the dough after it was all like, you know, kneaded and everything. And so I did the same thing in the oven, but I feel like maybe I proofed it too quickly, which I know according to the Great British Baking Show will wind you up with like really flat bread, like it'll just rise and then kind of like deflate. So that happened. So then I went to roll it out and I feel like maybe I made them too thin. Like they were really thin. To cook them, it said to heat your oven to 475, so really hot, and to put a pan at the bottom of the oven and like preheat the pan in there and then add your dough in, work one at a time, and it's supposed to puff up relatively quickly. Mine stayed flat as a pancake. And I feel like I hadn't thought about my heating element in my oven is not on the bottom, I don't think. Like the top seemed hotter than the bottom. And so I'm like, all right, maybe I should have put it at the top. But today I decided I'm just going to do it stove top. I'm going to do it on a cast iron skillet and make it like screaming hot, like smoking hot, and add it on. And then it's supposed to puff up. So, and I'm not going to roll it out quite as thin as I did last night. I don't know. I'm hoping that this second attempt goes just sort of well. So good. My neighbors still have not had a conversation with me, but they always see me up here. You can pretty clearly see what I'm doing. You have to believe they're curious. I'm gonna have like a couple more bites. I really want to find some more pieces of chicken in here. And then I'm gonna call it. P.S. I got another one of those crop tops, but this time it's in this like denim blue, they call it. I'll link it in the description of the video. There's so many. I got white, blue, pink, faux leather, black. The faux leather and black are the same one. And then leopard. So many. I want them to come out with more. They have this like vintage purple color that I might get. I really wish they would do like, I don't know, like tan. or like camel colored. I'm really into all those like skin tone, natural tone colors. Okay guys, this is my last bite. And then I get to go check on my dough. So, oh, what I didn't tell you was yesterday I did all the proofing in the oven while I was baking this, while I was getting the dough started. So obviously I couldn't put it in the oven. So somebody on Instagram recommended that I run my dryer for a little bit and then turn it off and stick it in there. So that's what I did to activate the yeast. And then I just stuck it back in there after I had kneaded it and covered the bowl with plastic wrap and everything so it can proof. So I'm like really excited. I really am hoping, first of all, like hope that it rises. But when it rises, I'm really hoping that it maintains like a smooth dome, because yesterday, like I told you, I didn't add any olive oil and it looked like the dough was like splitting. And I don't know if it's because I was proofing it too quickly or if it's because it had a film on it. It'll be a surprise when I get up there. Surprise! I was literally sitting in front of my oven yesterday, like they do on the Great British Baking Show, and I'm like, rise, come on, rise. It was ridiculous. I was like, I would totally be doing that if I were on that show. Obviously, I'm not even on a show when I'm doing it. This was amazing. Definitely chose the wrong noodle, but I know that the hack in general works with a pound of pasta, 6 cups of milk, whole milk, and cheese. And as far as the amount of cheese goes, I bought a large block of the Velveeta and used 3/4 of it. I was using before a 7-ounce block of feta, probably like 5 ounces of goat's cheese. This is just like one of the recipes, like 5 ounces of goat's cheese, and then like 2 cups of cheddar, however many ounces that is. It's probably like what, 3 ounces in a cup, something like that. So 6 and 13. I don't know. How many ounces is a dang block of Velveeta? 32! Yikes. So what is that? Divided by 4, so like 24 ounces of cheese in 3/4 of this. It's like a lot. And this melts extraordinarily well. So really great hack to melt this and cook the pasta at the same time. I mean, this melts better than the feta. Yeah, so it ends up being the same amount. So you don't need to add any other cheeses, just the Velveeta, and it works so well. I will link the original recipe in case you guys want to use the exact amount of garlic and the exact amount of sriracha in this. And the only thing that I didn't do today that I did in the original recipe is, aside from like using a rotisserie chicken, which I liked better, I didn't do the fried garlic on the top. So you can absolutely make some fried garlic. You just heat over like medium-low heat, have some olive oil, put some minced garlic in there, and let it slowly brown, not burn. There's a fine line between garlic that is browned and burned. So just make sure when it turns like a light golden brown that you take it out, put it on a paper towel to dry off, and then you can save that oil and use it as garlic oil. So yeah, you can even like drizzle that over the top. All right, guys, well, that's it for me today. That's it for me today. Thank you guys so much for joining and listening to my story about homemade pita bread. This is going to be a long journey of me with all of the breads. Comment below what you thought about this recipe with my mac and cheese hack. Are you guys fans of Velveeta? Are you just like, ooh, at the thought of it? Comment below what other mac and cheese hacks you want to see me make next. I'm just like, they're just so easy. How can I not keep doing them? Seriously. So good. All right, guys, thank you so much again for joining, and of course for just being here and supporting me all the time. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.